with the rock. You physically couldn't hold me, I don't care if you pushing 40. You can never little bro me. Euro step like Ginobili, from young OG to the OG. From nosebleeds to floor seats. Circle stronger than Cuban links. My gold dance, your gold plated. You verse me, now that's a reach. We ready. Who ready?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the One-on-One Sports Show here on the Black Man Unfiltered Network. I'm Mr. Bennett, joined by my 7B member of the Bold and the Beautiful, the Beneficent, Benevolent Ball Brotherhood of the BMU Network, the coach who's in the building, who's over there working with the Bad News Bears, trying to whip these kids into shape for this season. So it's getting good to have you guys with us on this pre-Thanksgiving edition of it. So again, lots of sports is going to be taking place in the next few hours, and certainly going to get into some of the matchups coming up tomorrow and for the weekend. And certainly so glad that you guys are spending your evening with us. Make sure you hit the like button certainly as you come in tonight. We appreciate certainly any support that you give us. Also consider sending a Cash App or Super Chat to the Black Man Unfiltered Network. We certainly appreciate that, and certainly anything that you want to give to us personally. Our Cash Apps are scrolling at the bottom of the screen, so certainly any way you want to bless the channel. Again, we'd appreciate any support that you may give us. But certainly missed the coach last week, man. Had some games going on. So what is going on with you, sir? How's the voice, and how's the pursuit, sir? What's going on?
What's up, Brother Benny? Can you hear me?
Oh, you sound 10 times last week, bro. You sound like you were in witness protection last week, man. That's how bad your voice was garbled. So you sound a lot better.
I don't know, man. You know, we had a couple of games since the last time I talked to you, and they just, sixth grade, just, I don't know, man. Too many individuals, man. They fight each other, don't want to pass the ball to each other, and do everything we didn't do in practice. Totally opposite. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? One parent even questioned me, man, about, look, you tell parents they don't be engaged into the game, right? So this kid, she's a center, but she has the athletic build. She's fat, but she's too wonky, man. She's always dazed. And so one time she get a rebound, she running down court, she just falls, Brother Bennett. I'm talking about the way she fell.
Oh, man.
It just, that's all you ever. I'm like, oh, my God. And the referee was sort of blocking the view where I couldn't see.
Right.
She fell, but she was down on the ground. Then she got up limping. So I brought her out the game. I said, go get her, because the way she fell, I heard it. I said, she sat over on the bench. Like I said, right. I kept asking. I said, you ready to go back in? She's like, no, my leg. Okay, sit over and chill out. Then after the game, and she hasn't scored all season, but she scored 2 points because I had her working on her shooting before the game. She scored 2 in the first half, 2 in the second, right? But then the father come to me, Coach, let me talk. I'm like, what's up, Coach? What's up? I'm a stepdad. I said, yeah, I know you are. Why was she sitting out the game like that? You know, she took it out and she didn't give her in. I was like, well, did you see what happened? I was just wondering why you. Okay, I got to go over and talk to my team. You know what I'm saying? And then he came into practice yesterday, because we ain't practiced today because they had no school. But he ain't asked me no questions. He ain't say nothing. I was like, why would he question me? Did he see his daughter fall? Why would I just, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe he's late to the game.
No, he was there. I saw him. He was already there. I don't know if he was paying attention at the time. But his mom was there too. Because when she fell, everybody went, ooh. But she got up and came over to the side. I was like, man, come on, man. I said, man, everybody get to play. You know, I try to play, I guess, but like I said, and you said Bad News Bears. I was maybe some misfits, not the Bad News Bears, because the Bad News Bears at least work together.
Well, at the end, they not initially. But
that's the thing, though. From the start, we gonna finish our season discombobulated as a team. The sixth grade. Now, real quick, the fifth grade, very engaged. Every time I look at them, they look at me in my eyes. Every time I'm talking to them. Right. They run the plays. They starting to score points. The shooting was the one thing that they all struggled with.
Mm-hmm.
So the last couple of games, they've been able to score like, 14, 15 points. And a lot of them never played basketball before. So and I have one girl, 5th grade, she probably cried 20 times a week, but she's one of the best defenders. And Brother Benny, she'll cry for whatever. Because she don't want to miss. She cried, "You're going to make me miss practice. You said if I don't practice, I don't play." That's if you being bad, not if you, but she probably has about 30 block shots. It just the seeing the difference in the nuances, man. It's exciting, but also draining because that age group, man, I'll never coach that age group again. I'm just gonna always go above.
We certainly appreciate your attempt though, and stepping back into the line of fire to try to work with these kids. So
I'm gonna apply to 2 more. I saw some coaching jobs. One at the high school that my girls that I know over and so there's 3 jobs altogether. I'm gonna apply for all 3 to see if I don't get none of those. I'll just be retired.
There you go.
My coaching days will be over.
I heard that. Shout out to someone we haven't seen in a long time, Alexis from Texas. Good to see you. Hope everything is well with you and yours. Glad that you decided to hop in and acknowledge us. Really appreciate it. Yes, the bold and the beautiful, but you forgot the others. The beneficent ball brotherhood of the BMU network. Again, it's the 7B network, and so we're still recruiting members. We're trying to get Shawnee and Dante to take the plunge, but those guys got full head of hair. They're not. See, I like to go after the guys who are losing the battle. If you got the George Jefferson, you got the Sherman Hemsley kind of thing going on, you might as well give that battle up. It's not going anywhere.
Come on.
Yeah, just come on over to our side. But if you still got a fro in your 50s and 60s, man, you good. We ain't trying to mess with your flow game. I know you worked hard for that hair, so we ain't going after you like that. But again, if you're losing a battle, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You're thinking about the plug and all that. Just join the ball side. It's so much better on this side here. But yeah, Shawnee got a full head of hair, man. He's gonna be 90 years old and have a full head of hair. That's
I'm squarehead.
That's how he wants in his family, man.
Them squarehead dudes, they can't never go bald, man. They have to keep her. Look, it's squarehead.
No receding hairline either. My man's what you about 35?
I'll be
40.
I'm almost
40 years
44.
old. I don't even see like a receding hairline.
He got edges. Sean, you got edges and everything, man. He still got his full edges, man.
When the Lord brings you home, you're gonna be in that coffin. The one thing they're gonna see, that hairline is gonna be perfect. The funeral partner got to do nothing. Oh, his hairline's good. We ain't got to touch that.
He good.
Yeah, I guess I'm thankful for that. My folks, they all kept their hair.
How you doing though? Otherwise, what's going on with you, sir?
Yeah, just busy trying to keep up with this little one.
I heard that. All right, man. Let's get into this. So again, big weekend. Certainly NFL. As always, we'll take our overview of what's going on in the season so far. So again, big takeaway from it seems like again the Patriots, they just keep winning. They're going to be. It seems like they're definitely creating some distance, but Denver's right there. So it's going to come down between those 2 teams. Obviously, the AFC North has tightened up. The Ravens are on a roll. Steelers are struggling again. Problems with the defense, inconsistent performance from week to week. You put up 28 points with that defense, that should be enough to win most of your games. And they're still struggling. But again, Denver's still hanging tough. Kansas City had the big win to keep their season alive, certainly over the Colts. And certainly on the NFC side, I'm seeing, again, Philly, again, up in that game. We're about to run the epitaph, but look out. Dallas is still a live dog in this playoff race. And we got a huge game tomorrow that's there. But it seems like the Bears beat my Steelers. Shout out to the Bears and shout out to our guy, Hink in the basement, who's the biggest Caleb Williams hater in the world. I don't know why. I'm trying to convince the man to get off his back. He's leading the team, but every week he's just trashing Caleb Williams. So I don't understand it. But he every time you talk about the Bears, he actually played the Super Bowl Shuffle on his show on Monday. So again, he's still living in the 85 past, man. 40 years ago, man. Give it up. And that was the most overrated team in history, by the way. Just saying, overrated. I'm sorry. You go to 1 Super Bowl, you're overrated. If you're going to be a deep, don't compare it to my 70s Steelers Steel Curtain. You can't compare those guys. right?
So you consider the Saints overrated? Because they, what's that?
One and done. No, you're
Yeah,
not
it
good
was
enough.
overrated.
Oh, and ask this for all you
Steve
Bears
Curtin
fans
was the best.
from 1985. How did Miami think of your defense on Monday night when they blew you guys out and put almost a 40 spot on you? Just saying. But that being said, again, congrats to the Bears. Congrats to Caleb Williams. Good turnaround from last year. Again, a very hot and contested NFC North, and then again the West is bunched up as well. I think LA is the cream of the crop so far, but again, it's going to be a dogfight all the way down to the end. San Francisco had a big win over Carolina, and so yeah, things are a lot of hotly contested races, which is good to see. You're going to see a lot of these competitions going down to the final week, and so I'm looking forward to this, gentlemen. But Coach, I know you've been coaching, but just your initial thoughts on how the season's going so far, and what's sticking out to you, just on these overall standings.
I mean, just from the AFC, man, I'm surprised with that AFC North, man. I'm surprised. They still got a lot of football to play. Of course, man, if Cleveland can get some offense going with their defense they got, I can see them going on a little mini winning streak. 3-game winning streak would be good to me. But, the Jets, it's unfortunate that, Justin Fields, he's still throwing the ball like he's in college. Buffalo, you never know. They've had a
Very
3 or 4 game rough patch, but they still.
I need them to have one more this weekend. I'm saying keep having that rush patch this weekend.
Indy, I hope the old Daniel Jones don't start showing up at this time of the year, because remember, summertime footballs is great. Fall football, now in that cold weather come. Jacksonville, again, it's hard to tell. Houston, they still got to fight. All that's, Tennessee is unfortunate. Denver, Sean Payton will always have his teams ready. LA Clippers, we'll see. Kansas City is on their tail, though. Do they have a game head-to-head?
I'm sorry, with who?
The Kansas City and LA Chargers.
That I got to look up the schedule. I think they do. I think yes. That's a lot of conference games scheduled towards the back end of the season. So yes, I would put money on it that they do. But
Philadelphia, they good so far. Dallas still have to go on a few game winning streaks. Washington and the Giants, they are what they are. Tampa Bay better get it together. Because again, another warm weather team. They better get it together because Carolina's coming.
Yeah,
Carolina's coming
because they lost Mayfield got injured on his shoulder.
Yeah, so Tampa Bay might be out of there, but Atlanta is unfortunate about Penix. But again, they still got a chance because we know Kirk Cousins, your All-American free agent guy, he could help them win some games. New Orleans, they need to do something to New Orleans. Chicago, the Green Bay is right there. And Green Bay, when you see them play, it's like, what are they doing to win? But they have another good defense. Detroit's right there. Minnesota, they are with that. McCarthy ain't the guy that everybody thought he was because he's not that guy. The Rams, long as Matthew Stafford stay healthy, they always got a chance because now he has 2 offensive. And I think this has revitalized Devontae Adams' career because he's catching touchdowns. San Francisco, McCaffrey, I never like San Francisco. Seattle, as long as Sam Darnold keep playing good ball. And I think this is Mary's last year in Arizona.
I got you. Shout out to our guy, certainly Dante in the building. I know he has some errands to run tonight, so again, we may not see him on, but if you are able to hop on a little bit later on, you're always welcome. But again, shout out to him. Yeah, definitely Rams are the class of the NFC at this point. I don't know. I don't know if I think they're separating a bit. So I'm not gonna not disagree with that. But again, that race in the West is really tightening up. Brock Purdy's back, certainly with the Rams. I mean, with the 49ers now. So we got to see if they can make a run. I mean, they were able to do what they did with Mac Jones, and now you got Purdy back. We'll see if he's worth all that money that they paid him. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But Shawnee,
the offense looked more high flying with Jones so far than Purdy. You got to get back in the groove of things. But I see Alexis mentioned that she's gonna be at the Cowboys Chiefs game tomorrow.
Yeah, salute.
I believe that game tomorrow it has a chance of probably being the most viewed NFL regular season game in history.
Yeah.
In
That's
history, Sonny?
yes, because you know everybody watched the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, and then the
Sure.
Chiefs they have their huge following.
Taylor Swift
So
gonna be there.
and that's another factor into it. So it has a chance. That's why now you're starting to see more teams. Cause I believe it was the Cowboys and the Lions that always played on Thanksgiving. Now the NFL like, oh, we getting views now. So now you see them slide the Ravens and I forgot what team they playing. The nightcap.
Well, actually, I got that. That's the next slide. So let me just
Oh,
go
okay.
here. So again, just the scores and highlights. So again, a lot of highly contested games. Again, Giants lose another one. They're up in the game, and Detroit comes back from behind and wins that game. But you know, and again, Kansas City, they had a huge. You know, they desperately needed that game. They pulled it out in overtime. And again, you know, New England keeps winning as well. But just kind of give us an idea overview where the standings are at this point. So again, obviously the Patriots and the Rams, which again, I don't think anybody coming into the season could have predicted, certainly hold the number one seeds. The Giants have been the only team that have been eliminated, certainly from the playoffs so far this year. Even the Raiders, I don't say the Raiders and the Jets and the Titans. How's the Titans 1-10 not eliminated yet? But Giants have been officially eliminated. But yes, this Thanksgiving Day, a lot of big games. Again, this is a must win. I mean, I think that win by Dallas over Philly was huge because it puts them right in there where they can really compete for a playoff spot. You got a hotly contested divisional game with the Lions and the Packers. You know, that's going to have some relevance. And then again, the Cincinnati Bengals. I think Burrow's starting in this game. I don't know if T. Higgins is going to be in this game, but certainly I think Burrow's going to be back. So we'll see there. I need the Bengals to win to keep the keep the Ravens at bay. But again, very high quality games. And then even Friday night, they started Black Friday football now. You're going to have the Bears and the Eagles, both 8-3 teams, going at it. So
football.
Yeah, so I mean the NFL is, I mean, you know, they're definitely giving you some matchups. I think a lot of people are going to be interested in all these games, and you can expect very high ratings for both not only the afternoon game but also the 1 o'clock and the Sunday night game. I think you're definitely going to have a lot of excitement there. So yeah, I mean it is definitely shaping up to be again a very it's one of the better years I've seen. To be honest with you, I mean the surprises we talk about. Who's going to be coach of the year? You can make a case for a lot of different guys, especially for the Patriots, and the Bears head coaches. And again, going into it where you have these head-to-heads, you're going to have it's going to be a very competitive, last few weeks, certainly in the NFL schedule. But just to kind of highlight, some of the big highlights, obviously from last week. Obviously, Shedeur Sanders finally gets a start over Dylan Gabriel. I think he's hurt anyway, and gets his first win. The first Browns quarterback to win in his debut in 25 years. All right. Not groundbreaking numbers, but he hit some key plays, certainly in the game to help them score. And, certainly very happy for him. In fact, he actually gets to start next game. He will start in the following game as well. So, again, for all the guys who, now again, I'm not saying is it Shedeur time, because again, you still got Deshaun Watson with that huge contract. We got to see what happens when, if and when he comes back healthy. Are they gonna, what are they gonna do with that? But I'm not gonna jump on the bandwagon and say, okay, now Shedeur is going to be the star or whatever. I'm not saying that yet, but certainly I feel happy for him, especially everything that he's gone through, all the hate that he's gotten. And certainly get that win for the Browns. I just hope he just gets every opportunity that he can to be successful, and that's the responsibility of the head coach. And we've seen some very questionable decisions by this head coach in the treatment of Shedeur. And so I know the title banner for tonight is that certainly Shedeur gets his Cleveland's found their quarterback, but I don't know I still don't know if I'd want to stay just based on how the man's been treated so far. But again, it's a very feel-good story. Happy for him. Coach, your thoughts on Shedeur and him getting that first victory as a Cleveland Brown. Oops.
Man, I got that victory too when he won that game, man. That's what I felt like. Yeah. I mean, he played a great game to me. Threw the ball well, made the good decisions. You know, he took a few sacks, but it's the NFL. Who don't get sacked? I think it's going to motivate the team. I believe he should be able to start the rest of the season and come back next year with an open competition.
Mm.
And if he don't start, trade him. You know, Deshaun Watson can be the backup for whoever. But I believe he deserves this, you know, 5-6 games they got left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let him go and run it out. Gabriel started 5-6 games?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so let him run it all out. Let this run the play. And if he makes good decisions, say he win 3 out of the next 5, 4 out of the next 5, I mean, you got a great competition coming into next year. And if you don't start, you know, the coach gonna have to make some decisions. But keep a balanced game attack. Don't have him just dropping back every time, because that's not the way you're gonna win at quarterback. But he made some great throws. He could have had 2 touchdowns, but you know, this is the NFL, man. He understands the game, that's for sure. So that's just my take on it. If Cleveland want to have any support, they'll start it.
Mm. Sure, I'm looking for my guy Scam Likely. Every time Scam is always trolling him as well. I'm looking for Scam to show up tonight as well and see if he's got something to say about.
Scam ain't playing no football, man. He more tight G. He used to be in the stands over about a cheerleaders talking about who is that running the ball? Is that Shawnee running the ball?
Oh,
he looks good in his uniform.
What's going on, Shawnee? What was your thoughts on Shedeur's debut, and you know, where do you think he can go from here?
Yeah, he put a decent debut. It's, you know, what you expect out of a rookie quarterback. Nothing fantastic. You saw some. I think the biggest thing about Gabriel was that during his starts, he was averaging just over 5 yards a throw. I mean, there was a lot of dink and dunks and whatnot. And I think as Sanders first started, he was averaging over 10. So, you know, he looks to go downfield more than Gabriel to stretch out the defense. And, you know, it was a good start, a building block. I still believe they have Gabriel as QB1 on their depth chart. So, you know, with Sanders, I guess he can just put as much on film as he can, and I don't think he may have a chance to go into the off season in a legit competition for the starting spot. But as of now, I just want him to play, let him take his lumps, you know, let him grow. I don't want the so right now you see like everything is about Sanders now, as far as just nitpicking everything that the head coach of the Browns do when it relates to Sanders. I'm saying just let the dude just play football now. I mean, he's out there on the field now, because as much microscope as people putting on the Browns organization because they may not lean the way they want to when it comes to Sanders, if Sanders don't play well, you're going to have to use about twice as much energy trying to defend him, because you know the people, the anti-Sanders crowd is just waiting for him to slip up. So it's just, I mean, just let him play, let him have, because he's going to have growing pains. He's going to have growing pains. And just let him get as much experience as he can. And, you know, just Sanders fans just not nitpick everything that Stefanski does with his decisions. I understood the whole thing when he had his first regular season action, and he didn't, you know, take no snaps with the first team and all that, you know. But now he's playing, let him grow, because the more noise the followers, his fans will push to have Sanders and whatnot. 'Cause right now we still don't really know what Sanders could do. We just want him to have a legit opportunity to show what he can do. But it's not guaranteed the dude is going to be a all-pro NFL quarterback. You know, so you just want him to go out there, play well when he gets opportunities. And if his future is with the Browns, it's with the Browns. If it's not, and they trade him, hopefully they trade him to an organization that will actually give him legit opportunities to start and pretty much has a good track record of developing young quarterbacks. I mean, I'm still high on McConnell up there in Minnesota, but that JJ McCarthy experience, it's just, I wasn't high on McCarthy coming out of Michigan because that was a running school, and when he got drafted number 10, I thought that was high for him. But yeah, if Sanders just grind out his reps at the on these starts, I think he'll be good. I think he'll be good. He's definitely getting critiqued a whole lot more. I think I'm pretty sure Jason Whitlock, he came out saying he was legitimately, rooting for Sanders to fail his first start because whatever his reasons were, I get he thought Sanders and the Sanders family was doing too much at the draft. That whole they was trying to force feed where Shedeur's going to go and all that. So Whitlock was talking about he hoped that he would absolutely bombed this first start. Obviously, he pissed off now because he didn't bomb it. He didn't set the house on fire, but he had a solid rookie game. And you saw some stuff. You saw an offense that is willing to potentially attack downfield. Because, like I said, you didn't see that with Gabriel. So, I mean, everybody be saying, like, the Browns don't have the receivers. Well, sometimes you got to put the receivers in position to make plays so you can see what you got. I mean, they ain't going to do nothing. You just keep throwing them 5-yard passes, so let them stretch their legs out. And you saw what happened. Sanders, I mean, I think it was like a screen pass, but one of his, I think it was a receiver or running back, took that down the field. He made a deep throw on the run. His receiver came back and made a play for him. You got to give them the opportunities. If you don't give them opportunities, you want to keep everything under 10 yards, well, of course they're not going to, get their names known to the masses, I guess. But they NFL receivers too. They work hard to be receiver number 1 and receiver number 2. Put them out there and let them make some plays. And I think they got a chance with Sanders doing that because Gabriel right now, I think Gabriel is more focused on not trying to turn the ball over. He just trying to short, and okay, but your offense is going to be short. Yeah, your defense, opposed defense will say, okay, you're not going to go over our head. We're just going to stay down on you. Yeah. Sanders give him a chance to go up top. So.
Yeah. Also want to highlight again Dante's comment here. Yeah, I mean, certainly he got some high praise from Myles Garrett after the game. That's big. If he can win over the players, then I think that'll go a long way as far as the coach being like, look, you got your number 1 highest paid player. If he gets behind Shedeur and whatnot, then I think that also changes some things also. So I think a lot of players have to step up in order to be like, let him be the guy and let's see what he can do. I think that went a long way with the comments that Myles said after the game. So again, salute to him for again getting his first win, and again he will be the starter certainly next game. Moving on.
Can I say this real quick before you move on as far as Shedeur? Shedeur has one of the best deep balls in football.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch him throw the ball, his ball's typically 99% on the money what a receiver can catch it. You can't get no better than that.
Yeah. And he's also certainly coming from his college.
He knows how to read defenses.
He's a very accurate passer as well. But I do think he does hold on to the ball, at least from his college tape. Definitely hangs onto the ball too much, takes too many sacks. So he's got to know when to get rid of it as well.
That's all. He's got
it. Yeah. Don't try to be a hero all the time. Get rid of it, and because he's not very big. So again, all the more so. If he starts getting more playing time, then I think guys will start coming after him. So learn how to protect yourself. But moving on, certainly the big upset. Certainly to me, I call it upset from last week. I think Eagles were up 21-0. I think at one point in this game. I will say again for the Dallas fans, congratulations to Dak Prescott. He's the all-time leading passer in Cowboys history, passing Tony Romo, Troy Aikman, and Roger Staubach. I'll start with Shawnee on this first and foremost. Does this put Dak Prescott into the Hall of Fame? Is he a Hall of Famer right now in your opinion?
Nah, he's not a Hall of Famer right now. I mean, I think
Now, I'm trolling you a little bit here, but
I think right now he's no different than Romo because you can see Romo has some pretty decent pass yard numbers and whatnot. He put up some okay stats, but Romo didn't have the postseason success. Now he had his opportunities. I still think that 2014 Cowboys team, they had the talent to potentially win a Super Bowl.
Mhm.
It was just the play that everybody talks about, that Dez Bryant catch or no catch. But that roster, they had a legit chance. And he had one chance where he went to the playoffs 13-3 and was upset by the Giants. So he had his opportunities more than Dak. But right now, I think ultimately Dak, this may position him to get into the Cowboys Ring of Honor, if anything. He right now, he really hasn't done anything on a NFL level for them to recognize him as a Hall of Famer. Because I mean, you can almost compare him. I can't compare them stat for stat, but you can almost compare him to Matt Stafford. But Matt Stafford has hardware. Before he won a Super Bowl, Matt Stafford was a stat stuffer, but nobody was like talking bad about Stafford's talent. We knew Stafford could throw the ball up there in Detroit. It was just he was on a bad team, and then once he came to L.A., he immediately won a Super Bowl. But Stafford has always been a hell of a quarterback. It would have been interesting if he would have went to a team that was not Detroit, and he would have been a sure doubt on the Hall of Fame. But right now, Stafford has no All-Pro in his record. He has, I don't know if he has a Pro Bowl starter in his record. Right now, I think he just has the Super Bowl. But yeah, Dak, he had a pretty decent career. It's just the playoffs. Right now, I just pay attention to the playoffs. But as for the game, I thought the Cowboys had a good chance to play, because one thing about Dak plays well against all NFC East teams. If you look at his record, I think he only lost 5 times to the Eagles. I think he has double-digit wins versus all 3 teams. So he always plays well against the other NFC East teams. It was just, they was down down the 8 ball when they was down 21-0. But one thing, of course, when they ultimately came back, Dak and the offense got cooking. But one thing I definitely noticed is all 21 points was in the first half, and then that defense literally locked down the Eagles. I mean, they was forcing the key turnovers when they needed. You saw the big turnover on the special teams. They had a good stop to force the Eagles to get a long field goal, which they ended up missing. We saw an anomaly with Brandon Aubrey missing his 51-yard field goal. Normally, that's a 30-yarder for him, but he missed it. But they was able to hang on for that. But it was a good game. People are definitely excited. That's why it definitely makes, because both teams next week, the Cowboys and the Chiefs, had comeback victories. So it's really going to be, a good game coming tomorrow between those two teams.
No question. We're going to get into that shortly. Coach, your thoughts on certainly Dallas come from behind on the Eagles, and we've got to get into the Eagles a little bit also in terms of what's going on there. We know that the Eagles, certainly they've been struggling somewhat offensively all year, inconsistent, between one half of the next. We all know about the issues with A.J. Brown and whatnot. Is this more a Cowboys coming back to win, or just more the problems with the Eagles is just revealing more issues with this team? What were your thoughts on the game? You muted. Coach, you muted.
Well, let me give a little shout out to that, man. My Mississippi State Bulldog, man, alumni, man. Salute to him, man. I mean, these are some great stats for the Cowboys, Ring of Honor at least. Yeah, get him in the Ring of Honor. I agree with Anton. He has to win the Super Bowl, especially in Dallas. And having the owner of Jerry Jones, you must win a Super Bowl standard. That's a standard for Dallas. But, Philadelphia, man, they look stale. They look stale. Is the head coach still calling the plays? Because if so, he need to do something about that.
Yeah.
They have a talented trio that they're not utilizing. Actually, a talented four, but they're not really utilizing their offense correctly, to me, because they look stale. They have no movement.
Oh, you talking about the Eagles? You talking about
Eagles? Yeah, the Eagles.
Oh no, they OC. They're OC. I think it's his first year.
Oh, well, see, that's the problem. Need to get back to the head coach calling the plays and mixing it up, because he's going to call a bit more balanced game. They look one-dimensional, and it's like teams are being able to dictate their plays, and that's where they're going to go wrong.
They had Kellen Moore last year. He went on to New Orleans.
That was
head coach.
This is a coordinator today. He ain't working. He ain't working. So but it's a good win for Dallas. They needed a win like that. They haven't had a good win like that in years, but they needed a win like that. If they win tomorrow, then they're back in the hunt. But again, it's going to have to be a balanced attack. They got to find a running game.
Yeah.
Because right now they just, relying on the passing game. But they need to find a running game. They'll be able, because the defense is getting better.
Yeah.
As a team.
So, Coach, let me ask you this. Speaking on Dak, where do you think he ranks on the Cowboys? Greatest. I would probably I'll still put Starback number 1. I'll put Aikman number 2. I'll still put Don Meredith. Shout out to Dandy Don from the 60s on there. He did get him to those NFC Championship games. He lost to the Packers. But Romo and Dak, and I don't know if there's any other. Randy, I may have to give some love to Danny White. Because Danny White went to like 5 straight NFC Championship games or something like that, and lost from like 79 to 82 or something like that. So Danny White doesn't get no love in Dallas, but I may have to give him some dap, because he did a lot more. He took those teams a lot further than Romo or Dak did. So I gotta put Danny White up there in the conversation. Shawnee, I don't know if you have a comment on that as far as that, or if you want to put Dak over Romo, I can certainly understand that. But my top 4 again: Roger, Troy, Don Meredith, and Danny White are my top 4 Dallas QBs. What do you think about that?
I think these 4 are the best quarterbacks in the franchise system.
For real?
Staubach, Aikman. Romo was a good thrower of the ball, except Romo, he didn't get his offensive line until he started having his injuries. Because when he got his big contract, they finally gave him an O-line. That's when you saw 2014. And then he got injured in 2015, and then he got injured again in 2016, and that's when Dak got his chance, because him and Kellen Moore got injured. But Romo was a good thrower of the football. Like I mentioned, he had his opportunity. They just had some bad defeats, but you really couldn't blame Romo sometimes, But only thing about Dak, what I like about Dak is a real good worker. Dak skill set, you literally saw his skill set progress every year. There was a weakness that you saw one year, he improved it the next year, and he just like a ladder moving up. So that's what I appreciate about Dak. Troy Aikman was accurate, but of course he had his receiver and his running back, so that offense was well balanced, and plus his offensive line. What Romo needed majority of his career, Aikman received it after that big trade when they brought all those draft picks to the Cowboys. That's when he started receiving. That's what led him and his team to start winning Super Bowls. Because before then, it was hard for them to win. Staubach is Staubach, and so those 4 are good. It'll be interesting to see what Dak. Like I say, Hall of Fame, no, but I'm pretty sure he would end up in the Ring of Honor at that stadium, because his skill set.
I'm saying even if he doesn't win, does he have to get a Super Bowl to get into the Ring of Honor?
Nuh-uh.
Wow.
No, he's already, and just based off just here, I would switch Troy and Roger 2, Troy 1, because of his career, what he was able to do in a short period of time. I would go Danny White 3, Dak 4, and everybody else after that. Because Danny White,
I mean, from like
he is underrated as a quarterback. Yeah,
it was like 79 to 82, 83. They were in every championship game. They just got, Rams. They had a last-minute touchdown to win that, and then you figure San Francisco with the catch, Montana to Clark for the touchdown. They had that game also. So I mean, he got him there, but I gotta certainly I gotta give him some props. He was a very competent quarterback for a lot of years. I wouldn't say he was great all pro, but that team was competitive every year during the late 70s and early 80s after Roger Staubach's retirement. I thought he was certainly a good substitute. But let's talk about certainly we got this this big game coming up. Again, a must win by both teams. Both got 5 losses. I don't think any team, if they have any chances of getting to the playoffs, I think they have to win these games. And to Shawnee's point, this is going to be a very highly watched game. I would certainly say, I don't know if I would say the highest growth. I'd have to think about what's the highest, most watched regular season game all time. I'd have to research that, but certainly it will be. Definitely, I think.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. When you see it, it will involve the Cowboys. The Cowboys will be one of the teams that are probably the most watched.
All right, I'll look that. I'll look that up right now. And shout out to again Alexis from Texas, who will be going to the game. That's I'm sure that's a thrill. Because again, I look, as much I may clown the Cowboys or whatever, I'm sure they give the fans. That stadium still looks amazing to me, and I think they certainly. It's Shawnee. You probably speak to that. It's an entertaining venue to go to and enjoy yourself for an afternoon. So no hate on the stadium and just the experiences it has. That's if I was in that position to go, I would certainly go to a game, regardless of who was playing.
That stadium definitely created the blueprint for these other stadiums that you saw being built. Like now, you're seeing almost every stadium built after the Cowboys Stadium, these $1 billion plus stadiums with these different type of technology. You see the SoFi Stadium with that halo. I believe Indianapolis Stadium came after the Cowboys, but a lot of these stadiums now, $1 billion. I think Vikings got a new stadium, so it definitely became the standard bearer.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah. You said the most watched. Certainly you were correct. The most watched NFL regular season game was the Cowboys versus the Giants in 2022. 42.1 million viewers. The second one was by the Giants versus the 49ers, 1990, 41.55 million views. So again, even the New York Times supports your point why the Chiefs Cowboys could be the most watched game in NFL history. So certainly I would agree that certainly again, a lot riding on this game, playoff implications, seasons on the line, must win. All the keys are there to making this a record-breaking game. And again, shout out to Hank. Sorry we missed you earlier. Yes, the Bears, even though you're hating on your quarterback, Caleb Williams, that doesn't seem right. You need to give that guy some love and pay him some respect. You got your team to 8-3. Again, you need to be a much more appreciative fan. I think he'll be better than Jim McMahon. I'll tell you that right now. I'll put money on that. He will have a better career overall than that. And you can't have it both ways, because you want to talk about he's not a great quarterback or Jim McMahon was this or that, but then you want to give the 85 Bears credit for that Super Bowl win. So what is it? Is it the Bears defense that won it or Jim McMahon? Make up your mind what you want to do or whatever. But shout out to Caleb Williams. Good to see this turnaround season, and I wish him nothing but the best. Certainly going forward, despite the haters like Hank, who don't give me any love. But that being said, let's move on to the next block, gentlemen. So let's go on. Let's go. What's happening with the Eagles? So again, the Eagles, they've had struggles every game this year. Haven't looked dominant on all sides of the ball all year. But the biggest drop off certainly has been Saquon. He got the big contract, as Shawnee pointed out in our back chat. 2-year, $41.5 $2 million contract extension, 36 guaranteed, the largest guaranteed running back deal in NFL history. And this is a severe drop off this season in terms of everything, in terms of attempts. And again, I know they lost their offensive coordinator, but it's just hard to believe, especially the game last week. You would think it used to be the formula. When you get up a lead, you give it to your running back, your bell cow, and let him just run out the game. So why isn't he being able to be effective in this offense? Why can't he just be that bell cow that just eats the clock and you run teams out the game? Shawnee, since you brought up the topic, I'll start with you first. What do you think that's going on with Saquon? Certainly when you thought that the running back was certainly getting established as a must, even though it was whittling there for a while. But to have this drop off from a 2K season last year to where he is now, one of the biggest drop offs, no apparent injuries that I've seen. But what's going on? And I've never seen such a precipitous drop off by a running back before. So what do you think is going on there?
Yeah, I know when I brought this question up on the internet, they was looking at it like I'm expecting him to have back-to-back 2,000 yard season. I'm like, no, but we wouldn't be saying it right now. He was at 1,400 yards right now. We say, okay, he's still producing at a high level, and the Eagles are paying him to produce at a high level with this contract they have. Because remember, before he got this contract, you remember the whole thing about running backs. It was just hard for them to get paid,
right? Because
they shelf life is just so short. And him and Derrick Henry have recently are the running backs who got decent paydays after all that whole ordeal about running backs not getting paid. And right now, you can see where he's sitting at right now in 2025 compared to how he ended last year. Remember last year, he had the opportunity to set both the single game and the single season rushing record.
Right. I think didn't they sit him out the last game? I think
no, he chose to sit him. He took himself out the game. The head coach came to him and was like, "Hey, you want to go back?" He said, "Nah, I'm good. I'm good." On both occasions, and it happened to both against the Giants. He could have made history against both at both times against the Giants. But right now in 2025, he is projected to finish the year with 995 yards, under 1,000. So you literally cut his production in half. And a running back of his caliber is like, no, you can't. And the thing about it, what originally had me looking at this, because nobody really has been talking about Saquon and his productivity. I mean, even when we was talking about the offense as a whole struggling, mainly due to Jalen Hurts, because the whole Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown drama and whatnot, and then you hearing noise about it was we never really heard it on the outside, but you started hearing something about Devontae Smith kind of being like a little frustrated with the offense. But it was always the receivers and the quarterback, and then this new offensive coordinator. Saquon, for the most part, has been kind of under the radar. They have a decent offensive line. Their offensive line is not bad. So you expect him, again, we're not expecting him to, because that was a record-set season he had last year. We're not expecting him to have 2,000 rushing yards, over 2,200 yards from scrimmage. We're not expecting him to have that in back-to-back years. But you're getting paid with your skill set, to produce like at least a 1,400 yard season to establish that type. But this type of drop to right now, you only have under 700 yards rushing, and projected to be finished under 1,000. I'm like, and if that, of course, if he would have been playing for the Cowboys, it would have been top news already. But it just seemed like Jalen Hurts, two receivers, well, really one receiver, and occasional the struggling offense as a whole. So you point the finger to the OC, but it seems like kind of Barkley's production is just flying under the radar. And I looked at them numbers, especially when I went to when I saw figuring out to project it. I'm like, yeah, dude, Right now, you a complete. I don't want to say afterthought,
and he's not even
but
having the pops. I mean, even with this is arguably going to be his worst season. But even with the Giants, he would have like a bad game, like 2 yards here, 3 yards there. But he'd have that one big one that would make his numbers kind of jump off the page. He's not even getting those big runs anymore. The 50, 60-yard run to pad the numbers, or what? I'm not even seeing those.
I'm trying to look to see what is his longest rush. I think he only has one rushing where he had 20 yards or more. Only one this season. I'm trying to look that up.
Are y'all looking at the same stats I'm looking at?
What do you got, Coach?
You talking about the one?
Who's calling the plays? Look at his rushes attempts. It's down. He's not getting the ball. But that's come from the offensive play call. He's not getting the ball. And like any game, when a running back and you got the lead, you start wearing them down with the run. You don't come out passing on first down. You run the ball. His attempts is down almost 200.
If you look at his career overall, like in 2021, he played 13 games. He had 162 attempts for the season. Right now, he's still on pace to get over 300 carries for the year, but 261, 217, 295, 290, 247. Last year, he got 345. So it might have made his numbers look bigger because he got almost 100 more rushing attempts with his first year with the Eagles than he did with his last year with the Giants. But nevertheless, I'm saying even with those fewer attempts, though, he would always have, like, again, that big run, that big pop, an explosive play in the game. You just didn't know when it was going to hit. Right now, I haven't seen any of that as far as his long. I think his long for this year, I think he's got one for 65. I think 65 yards is his longest run this season. But he would pop off these runs like almost like Barry Sanders used to do. He you stop him, and then boom, he'd land a home run. I'm not seeing that home run pitch anymore, even with the attempts.
I'll equate it to this too, because I've been seeing them on commercials, right? You have a Super Bowl season, record-setting season. I would say that he saw the rainbow and he took the rainbow. I would say that because, he's been in commercials. Y'all know y'all seen him riding the what was he riding? The donkey. He was riding something in the street on a commercial. He was riding something. I know y'all seen it, but
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, I can see a fall off, but they got to start running the ball. Philadelphia, they got away from the balanced attack. Even what I'm saying, you have to. I don't know, man. This old touch football, passing league football, it just doesn't work, and they're gonna do the same thing to the running backs we was talking about 2 years ago.
I mean, but right now he's currently number 5 in the league in rushing attempts. Because right now he's obviously McCaffrey. They give the ball to McCaffrey almost in every play for him.
Right, but look what they do. They pass it or they're running. Pass it, run. Pass it, run. They don't do Shaquan like that.
I think he's on pace to have 1,000 for the back.
Only
1,000 yards receiving and rushing. McCaffrey.
Yeah, because the only people who are above Barkley in attempts is Henry, James Cook, Jonathan Taylor, and Christian McCaffrey. So Taylor and McCaffrey have over 200 attempts. Cook has 199. Henry just has 2 more attempts than Barkley. So he's getting his share, but he's only averaging, Barkley's only averaging, he's at less than 4 yards a carry.
3.7.
I mean, so it's just like,
and this obviously ain't the same line. We can see that because he's getting trapped in the backfield.
Yeah, but they line not that bad
with the Giants either, and he still, had more productivity than this. So I with the injuries and everything else. So yeah, I don't know, certainly. But again, my biggest thing is, again, in that game when you're up 21, you're up 3 scores. Why not just give it to him, let him get 30, 35 rushes or whatever, run out the clock and try to win the game, or have a game plan for you to do that. But in order for Dallas to come back from 3 scores down, you got to be doing a lot of 3 and outs or a lot of, passing the ball and whatnot, and you're not giving it to your guy. So I I think that obviously a new offense coordinator. I mean, again, Chip Kelly's out, so again, we'll see who takes on his duties.
Well, Chip Kelly was offensive coordinator for the Raiders. He wasn't.
I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah, you're right.
But I forgot it. I hear it all the time. I'm looking him up now because I hear his name all the time. Kevin Patullo, how is it? That's the offensive coordinator, and and they questioning right now, like, why isn't Sirianni demoting him? But yeah, he is the one, because before, we're talking about Barkley now, but Patullo's whole thing is why AJ Brown is not getting the numbers. It was always, the spotlight was always on AJ Brown because of Brown's, demeanor after games, even if they win. Now you're looking at Barkley, and I was trying to see what the Cowboys was doing to him in that game, and it looked like Barkley, I guess that's been why he wasn't getting the ball. He was averaging only 2 yards a carry, so he wasn't effective versus the Cowboys. And this is the same Cowboys who gave up almost 200 rushing yards to Rico Dowdle. Now that's before Quentin Williams, and right now, I mean, I think it's his second game. Right now, Quentin Williams seemed to be he's making an impact right now. So it's just alarming to me, because he had a 2,000-yard season last year, and now he has a chance of finishing under 1,000 yards. A running back of that caliber. I can imagine if this was Derrick Henry, because he's up there with Derrick Henry. And if Derrick Henry would have did something like this, people would have been talking like, man, what is this? But he got all that money. You remember, they was questioning about running backs getting this type of money. Eagles, which rightfully so, he deserved that money. But, fans on the outside, we always look at players that if they perform high one year because they got the contract, and also when you get the money, and also we immediately see a drop-off like this, you already hear fans in the background like, oh, well, he just got paid. But Barkley, I don't think that's Barkley. Barkley looked like he respects the game too much to do that. But it's alarming to see how his production just dropped off. I know they may not have the same exact line from last season, but their line is not bad. And he's too talented of a running back to have this type of performance and production right now. I was thinking he should have at least 800, 900 yards by now.
I got you. Want to give a shout out to our guy Scorch Earth 820. I haven't seen you in a long time, brother. It's good that you came on. Appreciate you chiming in. Yes, certainly 49ers. Yes, with all the injuries and everything, coming back again, it's going to be a very competitive NFC West, and certainly looking forward to that. I got KP from KC. Certainly, you got Burrows coming back, so hopefully, he can stay healthy for the rest of the year. Now, again, I still say, look, I'll still take Hurts. Certainly in the big spots and big games or whatever, certainly over Lamar Jackson. Jackson hasn't shown me anything. Hurts has got the jewelry. He's got the hardware, whatnot, so I'm still taking him. But certainly, a lot of people can be making a case now that, again, he's looking like an average quarterback at this particular, time. So, and he also chimes in, A.J. Brown would be nasty with Joe Burrow. Well, I mean, Burrow, the last thing he needs is weapons. He's got enough weapons as it is. But certainly, I think that, I think Hurts is still an upper-tier quarterback. Again, just given this system, like nothing's working on offense, at least not consistently anyway. They can't stay consistent for 4 quarters. But I'll still take Hurts as a top 5 QB in the league. And certainly I'll still take him over Jackson until Jackson can prove otherwise. Another comment here from, I think the Browns are about to play a different caliber team than the Raiders. This is going to be an interesting Sunday. Yeah, so we got to see what happens against Shedeur. Can he elevate his game against certainly a better opponent? The Raiders are tumbling at this point. So, but want to move back before we get off the NFL. I just want to cover, because we didn't necessarily do any predictions. So I wanted to talk about some of these games coming up. Again, you got some key matchups. Again, the Thanksgiving Day tomorrow, the Lions game, the Bengals. If you guys want to put in your picks Who do you like in these games? We'll just deal with the Thursday and Friday night matchups because I think those are games with huge implications. Coach, who just with those four games, who do you got between Thursday and Friday?
My bad, I'm on mute. Just going backwards in it, I'm gonna take Kansas City. I think they built, it's gonna be a lot of pressure on Dallas. I would say Detroit because they're at home. And I'm gonna say Baltimore because they're at home. I think I'll Detroit, Baltimore, and KC just for Thursday night.
Okay, and it's Eagles. Eagles.
Oh, the Eagles, Bears. I'm gonna say Eagles. They go right the ship. Real quick, I think Carolina gonna get the Rams because the Rams gonna overlook them. I think the Colts will be back on track.
Yeah, you don't have to get the whole 12. I just wanted to focus this again on certainly the games this week, the Thursday and Friday games. We can, if you want to go through and just pick,
now real quick, just the Eagles. Yeah, just the Eagles, Ravens, Rams, and KC.
Okay, gotcha. Shawnee, your thoughts on those four games, those four matchups?
I have on Friday. I have the Eagles taking that one. I think the Bears, they're gonna get a determined Eagles team. With Bengals and the Ravens, Lamar hasn't been the same, which I kind of figured because you're not the same coming off a hamstring injury like that. And I don't even know if his hamstring was fully healed when he came back. They still winning. They won 5 in a row. But I believe if the Bengals offense could just catch on fire, because I think Chase will be back because he was suspended last week.
Right.
But he should be back. I think if their offense catch on, I think they can take the Ravens. But then again, I mean, if Derrick Henry has a game, because that Bengals defense still exists.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah.
So I may have to say Ravens just because of that. Their defense is bad. Lions, I would give them the edge mainly because Jordan Love is just so up and down. Yeah. I don't know which Jordan Love is going to come. He is just up and down. You think, oh, okay, he will show you something a game or two, and then the next thing he just going to witness protection program. And Lions, they playing at home. I know the Packers has a good defense, but I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to really set the tone for that game, and then just allow Goff to play off of that. And then for the Cowboys game, I have the Cowboys, mainly because the Chiefs' offense is not the Chiefs' offense. Why are you surprised? Well, because the Chiefs' offense is not the same. They offense, I thought they was coming and going, but then they kind of went back. So it's like they just not the same as far as what we may be accustomed to. But honestly, their offense hasn't been the same since the year before they won a Super Bowl. It was the defense that was carrying them. But now their defense is kind of looking kind of limp. They can make a stand, there at times, but it's not the same defense. For the past 3 years or so, it's been the KC defense that's been guiding them. It's not Mahomes and that offense. Now you're expecting this defense that can be kind of shaky. One thing about the Cowboys, we know their offense is legit. And now you're asking that defense to go in there. Because what they did with the Colts, they forced Daniel Jones to beat them. And obviously that didn't work. So they played good defense versus Taylor. And even though the Colts still develop a lead versus them, but they put the game in Jones' hands and it didn't come out well. If you put the game in Dak's hands, he's shown you may not want to do that. And then what I'm seeing, because they don't have Kareem Hunt had a strong run game last week. Right now, I'm seeing the Cowboys' rushing defense. If they looking true, because they, like I say, since they got Quentin Williams, that rushing defense has been pretty good. Now their secondary is still, still got some work to do, but their rushing defense is getting better. And all that team needs to do is just it's kind of like you meeting the Chiefs at the perfect time because they're not explosive. They're not explosive on offense and they're not explosive on defense. Well, Cowboys are explosive on offense. You just need the defenses to be decent. So, and then they playing at home, even though that may not, the Chiefs, they too experienced as far as Mahomes. He don't care if you're in a home or you're in a road. But I think the Cowboys, I give them the edge on that one.
Gotcha. Yeah, for me, I'm picking the Chiefs tomorrow. I mean, certain Dallas's defense is still going to be suspect, and I think just with the desperation that Kansas City has, I don't think Mahomes is going to be routed by the moment. I mean, obviously, with the weapons that Cowboys have, they can certainly put up some numbers as well. I just like Mahomes in that matchup. As for the Green Bay game, I'm picking Green Bay. Again, I think the Lions have been inconsistent all year, and I think they'll certainly pull that out even at home. So in a way, victory in Detroit for Green Bay, and I got to root for I can't root for anybody else. I got to root for the Bengals to beat the Ravens at all costs. Again, that has to go down, and I'm going to actually ride with the Bears. Shout out to Hank again. I'm picking your Bears and Caleb Williams to overcome the Eagles certainly in this game while the Eagles are still working on their issues there. So that's right. I'm riding the hot hand. I like the Bears, and I'm gonna so I'm gonna follow them in that regard. So those are my picks certainly for the Thursday and Friday.
Well, I tell you this as a Benny. Can you imagine the noise that come out of Philly if they do correct? They're at home too. If they happen to lose against the Bears, you really gonna see them on the news. Really gonna see them on the news.
Yeah. Want to move off the NFL again. Good bit. We're in the thick of it again. Sorry, it's too early for the NBA for me. I can't get into it. So, and I'm not getting into bowl season yet. I mean, I know bowls start after Thanksgiving and whatever. I can't get into that discussion yet, so I'm not even talking about that at this time. But I do want to raise one issue with the college game, though. So again, this was a bit puzzling to me. Again, Florida State, which has been historically a team that's always been in the title mix year after year, all those years with Cody Boughton, and yes, Bengals over Ravens. Yes, I have to pick that. All right, I like I said, Ravens. I can't root for the Ravens at any time. So, but I mean, Florida State for so many years was in the success. The last championship they won was with Jameis Winston. And whatnot, and they've become a very mediocre team over the last few years. And this is just, to me, another sign of mediocrity. The fact that Florida State is keeping Norvell when you got guys like Franklin from Penn State gets fired. I don't understand, why or what is it. Hear the comments from the athletic director. Embraces support in the process and agrees that success must be achieved. He continues to demonstrate an unwavering belief in the program's future. So do we. The decision reflects unified commitment to competing in the rapidly evolving landscape of college football while maintaining continuity within the program. Again, when you got Indiana, which is number 2 in the country, Florida State used to get all the top players back in the day. So I don't know what's going on. And why Norvell stayed there. But I don't get it. I thought for sure that they would try to move on from him. Other coaches have gotten less tenure at other places. Your thoughts, Shawnee, on Norvell, another year with Florida State? And I'm just sad because I grew up a Florida State fan, and I haven't seen this level of mediocrity in Florida State ever, at least certainly over the last 5 years or so. So what are your thoughts on what's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. I see Prince mentioned about Jimbo Fisher. I think he did. Well,
yeah, that's what James.
That
right?
was with James. Yeah, that was with James Winston. Yeah, that's when he won. Remember, Florida State had a chance they had a chance to make in the college football playoffs, but they lost their quarterback Jordan Travis, and I think they still went. I think they lost like one game that year, and they were snubbed out the playoffs.
They were, yeah.
And I remember because their biggest thing was a part of the committees, how they vote on teams, basically the level, the status of your current team. and they docked them because they didn't have their starting quarterback versus these other upper echelon teams that they were going to potentially play against. So that was one of the reasons, the main reason why they got snubbed. And I remember after that game, after when that happened, you remember all the players they just sat out. All of them started, I'm going to the draft. For whatever reason, they just sat out from the bowl game, and then got just ultimately embarrassed in the bowl game. And they just left their teammates out there, and it was an embarrassing showing at the bowl game. And I think the opponent had like over 60 points, if I'm not mistaken. And then this has been downhill after that. I mean, I thought they was going to make some noise because remember they beat Alabama in game 1 this year, but then that was just false hope, and they went down. I remember at one time people was kind of, waving the flag for Prime to go over there because that's his alma mater. I don't know how that looks like now because Colorado, they look bad. They just look bad. So I don't know if Prime has any type of momentum to go anywhere. Now one coach who could potentially go right now, Novell is still the head coach, but I think one coach who has is Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. Because right now you got openings at LSU, I believe Florida, and some suspect maybe Florida State, but I don't know. By the end of the year, maybe Florida State, maybe they'll let go of Novell. But Lane Kiffin, he could potentially, if he was going, that would be a good pickup for them. But I don't think he said he's going to make his announcement what he's going to decide to do after the bowl season. But yeah, for Florida State, yeah, I think Novell, he's trying to keep the boat afloat, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know how much years he has left on his contract. I don't know if it's going to be a buyout. That's a popular thing now in college football. Fire coaches early, but you got a hell of a buyout to give them.
Well, yeah, and I think Anton, he raised the point also that certainly, again, their former 2 coaches, they're still getting paid also. Taggart and Strong, they're still paying for their buyouts. So I guess maybe Strong didn't coach at Florida State. So I just think it's just that, I mean, they, like I said, perennially Florida State was always in a major bowl. They definitely would have been a part of the 12-team playoff all those years when Bowden was there, and even like I said with Jimbo Fisher, those teams were always competitive. So why they're not either, it's not as attractive of a place to go to anymore. I know Clemson, I know they had their run for some time, but yeah, I mean, I would certainly like to see that program get reestablished, and programs like that, you never see them have bad years for too long, but it seems like they might be, hopefully they don't, that doesn't continue.
Well, I think
but
it's the
Coach
NIL.
Yeah,
NIL.
I understand, but again, teams are winning. Why, you mean tell me Indiana's got more access to recruits than Florida State does? I don't know. Or that Indiana would be a more attractive place to play than Florida State with all that history there. I don't know.
Well, you see how Texas Tech is throwing money around. Maybe Indiana is doing something there, but yeah, you would think Florida is a hotbed for football talent.
Right. Yeah, all the talent within the state. You know what I mean? That all those guys used to stay home. For Miami and Florida State, that was all. You didn't have to go anywhere. But Coach, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, brother Bennett, but NIL changed the game. The players, Florida's and Texas, all around that little I-10, I-95 drive, it's inundated with athletes, and the money's everywhere now. So it's a lot more parity. Players can afford to leave the state now. So that's been sort of the catch-22. That's why Saban got out the game, because he knew he couldn't get them boys to stay close to home and come there because everybody's paying. But
well, again, just a couple weeks ago, Florida, Alabama's ranked 4 in the country, so that coach figured it out in terms of how to get players there. I'm saying,
but he's working with the players
well. But why, with the history of Florida State, would they have that much problem either recruiting or maintaining or keeping talent? You don't tell me there's a lot of boosters down there, former players and whatnot. They always put these packages together to keep guys there. Why these other teams that we never even heard of or Johnny come latelys, why are they able to do some things that Florida State is not? That to me is still a head scratcher to me. What's going on with the committees, the alumni? What's going on? Why you can't?
Well, maybe that's a detriment to Norvell's recruiting. I mean, maybe that's
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying.
status.
And I was saying that's another reason why he probably needs to go, because if you can't, if with the support that, again, Florida State is not a mid-major. All these other programs that are Johnny come latelys, these were mid-majors. They got hot, or they found a way to get some guys or whatever. I'm thinking again the big time programs. Miami's relevant still, because in this time. So why couldn't Carson Beck? He couldn't go to Florida State. I don't get it. So,
but Miami's always been top dog of Florida over Florida
not always.
State.
They had they've had their down periods also. I'm saying they've been able to build back up.
But that's the roll of the dice when it comes to that. The coach, he seems to be on his way out every year, but somehow, the parity in the game, you're going to see other Power 5 schools sort of have that, 3-4 loss season. It's only going to be a few that maintain that, but with the NIL, no telling who.
All I'm saying, Penn
State will be back.
Notre Dame, they're able to find it. Because I always thought Florida State for a long time. Notre Dame and Florida State, I always thought were like on kind of on that level. Indies or like I said, ACC or whatever, that they were always up there. So like I said, I would like to see if they can rebuild.
Well, I think I just found something. I think the reason, because I see Florida State has already decided to keep him through the 26th season. Because right now, if they would let Norvell go, his buyout would be over $50 million.
Yeah,
they stuck with him basically.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they be giving coaches these type of contracts nowadays, but you leave, maybe hell, put a clause in their contract. If you're not performing well after this amount of years, we can have the right to fire you and not pay this excessive buyout. I don't know if y'all got the news earlier. What's his name won his case versus LSU for being fired without a cause. What's his name? Brian Kelly. So his buyout is like, I forgot, but it's high. LSU was trying not to get it to him, but now they ordered to pay that. And I was like, dude, I don't know why y'all sign these coaches to these incredibly high contracts.
Yeah, that's frustrating. But want to move off of this here. We got one more major block that I want to go into before the certainly put the end. Yeah, it's independent college football, which gives them a significant amount of money. Well, yeah, that NBC contract is big, no doubt. That's definitely a cash cow for them. But for sure, moving over to the NBA. So we have certainly Chris Paul, who's basically been in the league almost 20 years, is retiring after the 2025-2026 season. He is second all-time in assists, 12-time All-Star, 6-time steals champ, 9-time All-Defense, NBA 75th anniversary team. So certainly he's been certainly a very good player, in my view. Clearly a Hall of Famer. You may even make the point that he might be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I know Dante was talking about he's his favorite player, or certainly favorite point guard. Has played. I think he's had like one finals appearance, I believe, when he's with the Suns. He's been with a lot of different teams. I almost get the sense that he's journeyman plus, a compiler, if you will. Not certainly getting there, but again, I'm not gonna poo-poo his Hall of Fame credentials. I may have an issue with first ballot, but again, when you had Howard and the man from New York get first ballot Hall of Famer, I guess anybody's a first ballot Hall of Famer these days. So again, my criteria would be a little bit more
Mr. Bennett, how
strict.
can you look at these numbers and say he's not a first ballot?
I know, I'm tough, but here's the argument that I made
You
in the
got
chat.
defense, offense.
Here's what I made. This is the argument I made in the chat. So someone put this up again. This was on, I think, it was on Steph Curry's site. So someone, I don't even know who this is. He put up the 12 greatest point guards, right? I don't think anybody's going to argue per se. Well, some people may argue with Oscar. It might have been before their time to do some Johnny come latelys, but man averaged triple-double for a season. But that being said, they got Chris Paul at number 5. But I can make a case he can slide to number 10. And the point that I made when we were talking about it prior to the show was, if you're not in the top 10 at your position, I don't think you're a first ballot Hall of Famer. Not to say that you are a Hall of Famer, but either you moving somebody out of the top 10 or you're not in that first ballot ranking. Again, when I'm talking about first ballot Hall of Fame, it's like a no-brainer. Can I pick 10 guys over him? And even though with this list that has him at 5, I could make a point the next 5 guys I would pick over Paul.
So you'll pick Gary Payton over Paul?
Yes. The glove? Yes. Now, I would have picked Westbrook, except for these last few seasons. When he was getting back-to-back MVPs and whatnot, I would have clearly had Westbrook above Paul in that conversation. No question about it. And the last few years has not been what has been. I'm not going to put anybody from the 50s and 60s Celtics in there. That's why I don't put Bill Russell as the greatest of all time, because he's got 11 rings. I don't do that. All right. I'm fair about that. But Steve Nash, 2-time MVP, Clyde Frazier. I mean, come on, coach, with the Knicks, Clyde the Glide, Frazier, Jason Kidd went to multiple NBA finals, finally got one with Dallas. I mean, Kidd was a bad boy. I mean, two of those guys. Yeah, I would take those boys from Oakland, Kidd and Peyton, both of them from Oakland. I would definitely pick both of those guys over Chris Paul. John Stockton never won a ring, went to a couple finals, all-time assist leader, again, pick and roll with Karl Malone. Steve Nash, 2-time MVP. Again, I'm just saying you can do some shuffling there with those guys. And I don't know if each one of those guys is first ballot Hall of Famer, but again, if you're not top 10, I don't know. I mean, like I said, but again, he's been very good, solid fundamentals. If you want your point guard to have those fundamentals or whatnot, yes. Did he come up in the big games though? When they needed him, when Phoenix was, I think they were up 1-0 or 2-0 in that series against the Bucks, and then the Bucks came back and won it. Did he come up in a big spot did he carry a team at some point? I didn't see it. The top 4, they carried teams, carried them to championships. Clyde Frazier, Walt Frazier carried the Knicks. When Willis Reed went down in that 1970 championship, Frazier had 36 points in that game to help close it out. So yeah. I mean, I think there's some other guys I would pick, but again, I'm not sure. A very good player. Can he put you over the top? He hasn't shown that despite all the teams that he's been on. He might be like a Harden. Harden's going to have some numbers also. I don't know if I want to put him first ballot or anything. But, that's me. So again, Shawnee, I know you shoved at the bit here. You can get on this. And again, absolutely he deserves. No, I'm not. See, thank you. Don't know. Eventually he became a journeyman chasing rings. Yes, he became a gypsy. Thinking that he would be the piece. He went to these teams thinking he was the final cog needed to take him over the top, and time after time he never got him there.
Well, in his case, that was basically when he went to Houston. He chose to go to Houston. He was traded to the other ones until Clippers or whatnot, but he was traded to Phoenix. He was traded to OKC. He was traded to I think whatever the team. Well, I think he did Phoenix and then the Clippers last year. Was the Phoenix, but
That doesn't speak.
no,
well
he
of
was
you.
traded. He was traded to San Antonio.
That doesn't help your case though.
But
You
this
get traded, they're
is
basically
like,
saying
but
you're
this
not
is
worth
but
you're not
this
worth
is
the
the
money, or
latter
you
end
don't
of his
think we can win with
career.
you.
This is because people kind of wrote him off when he was traded to OKC, and he was responsible for making them a deep playoff run. They almost beat Houston that year, and he was an afterthought in OKC. His best years ended when he was with Houston. It just ended with an injury. But you forget, Paul was that dude when he was with New Orleans and the Clippers his first go round. Yes, he was legit.
What did they do with that? And what did they do in New Orleans?
Well, he's known. I mean, because you can't really put it on Paul, but he's basically going to be known
ways, man.
because not because you can put it on Paul, then you put it on Doc because he was on that Clippers team that was up 3-1 against the Rockets, and the Rockets came back and beat them. I think that's 2015. That team had the talent to win the NBA title. Remember, he could have went to the Lakers, but the NBA front office canceled that trade because he was about to go over there with Kobe. But they nixed that trade.
Yeah, they nixed that deal, yes.
But as far as him being number 5, I have no problem with him being number 5 on this list. Because Chris Paul can literally hold his own as far as point guard skills to any of these dudes on this list. But yes, he became a journeyman at the end of his career. And it sucks that he had to do that because he was the legit. I mean, they don't call him point guard for nothing. I mean, he was legit. It's just he just ran into whatever. Like, I don't know why it didn't work when he was with the Clippers. Because that stretch when he was with the Clippers, they was a legit team. It's just something always, the shoe fell off at one step or the other. It just, I don't know what happened. And then he had another chance to do that with the Rockets. And I believe if he would have been available that year he got hurt, the Rockets would have beat the Warriors. Because the Rockets was, during that season, the Warriors they was blowing through everybody. But the Rockets was challenging them because they built their team versus the Warriors. Mm-hmm. So that, I think they had like a winning or either a tied record for the regular season. And of course they went up 3-2 in that series before Paul got hurt and then, the rest. But also, I could say the detriment here, remember they got a chance to play them the very next year, and he was playing, but still got beat in 6 by a Warriors team who I think was missing Klay Thompson. So that can be a detriment. But by this time, injuries was coming on him, and then he was on the downside of his career. Mainly with Chris Paul is the New Orleans years and the Clippers years. That 1 year with Houston, because he was a difference maker then. But I still will put, it's just he had a long career. And then just so happened, teams just started trading him. For whatever reason, they just started trading him. But he was getting traded to these young teams, but he was making them better. But they couldn't really contend for a title. They was just too young. Mm. But yeah, his first 2 teams.
Yeah, but you can't explain Phoenix. Phoenix though was,
Yeah, but you talking about, by this time Phoenix, he's older and he already had all these injuries. He was not the same player with Phoenix. You talking about just Phoenix? Last year he was with San Antonio. He was just with Phoenix. What, the year prior to that? He was not the same. This was obviously on the downside of his career. So I can't really. I mean, that's like. I mean, Jason Kidd was not Jason Kidd when he was the Mavericks. I remember that Jason Kidd.
He led those Nets teams that weren't the greatest teams. He led them to back-to-back NBA Finals appearances. He got taken out by San Antonio. I think it was back-to-back years of the Lakers, one of those. But again, he got them there. I'm saying, when did Paul really put a team on his back and take that? He was clearly the best player on the Nets, certainly during those years. And even on the Dallas squad, I mean, you remember, even though he was coming off the bench, he was huge. He was clutch.
But I
could have made a case he could have got MVP of that series. I could have made a case for that. Because that second team, they came in,
he had
major minutes, big-time shots. Defense, he was clutch in that series. He was clearly 6-man coming off that team.
He was not a bench warmer at that point. he was just a dude standing at the 3-point line. He'll kind of guide the offense, make a pass, and literally just watch. That they won. Jason Kidd with the Mavericks when they won the title in 11. He was just a director. He was standing at the 3-point line, letting the ball swing away, watching Dirk do his thing, and then if he catch a three, he'll shoot the three. But Dirk was the reason they won that. Jason Kidd, yeah, you just a point guard because he was a value.
I mean, you had a lot of contributors on that team. I'm saying Jason Kidd, he was not a role player when he won that. He was a major contributor on that second team. He came into the game.
He was a role player.
He was a major contributor, bro. So, I mean, Coach, get in this combo, man. I mean, I don't know.
That's a question for Dante.
Like
Dante
I said,
probably remember that whole lot more than me.
Yes, I wanted Dante. Once again, Dante found a reason to be out of the conversation. This is his favorite player. And all that, and you knew we were going to bring it up, so Dante can nowhere be found. But all I'm saying is, look, very good, okay, very good, consistent, very good. But again, if you want to be great, if you want to be first ballot, you take your game to another level. It's almost like Rondo will never be a Hall of Famer. But you saw when he was in those teams, when he was on, he just went to another level. The guy was a 50% free throw shooter for his career. He was 80% in the playoffs. I mean, the guy just had a way of elevating. Magic, Steph, Oscar, Isaiah, elevated in the big moments. And I'm saying, where is the only thing that stopped Gary Payton from winning was Jordan. That was it. I mean, that was that was tough. But I mean, Clyde Frazier, 70 and 73 with the Knicks, elevated. I'm saying, Paul, I just never saw that in him. Yes, consistent. He's good for 16 and 8 or 9 a night. Yes. But I'm talking, if you want to talk about amongst the elites, I don't see it.
Yeah.
Coach.
I don't see him nowhere on this list. Only reason he's on this list because of the years. Every playoff it seemed like he either got hurt or something happened. He was no longer the Chris Paul of the regular season for some reason. It seems always he's had a bad luck draw, even when they sort of nixed the deal with him going to play with Kobe. I thought that was odd at that time, but I don't see him being better than anybody on this list.
Wow, I mean, that's bold. Now, see that's a bold take, Coach. Because like I said, I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be generous. And slide, like I said, he could slide to 11 or I can make a case for any one of these guys on this list above him, except Kuzi. Again, 50 Celtics. I mean, they had 12 teams back then. Again, there's only so much credit I can give those old school guys. Only so much credit I can give. But the fact that we just talked about it, I would make a case again if he had just a more consistent regular season. If you want to say who do I want in the finals, I'm picking Rajon Rondo certainly over Chris Paul and other guys on this list.
Oh, you taking a role player over Chris Paul?
First of all, Rajon Rondo was the starter for those Celtics teams in the 2008.
I know, but still, he was young. He was
I'm just saying, put Rondo in the playoffs. He was a different player. He couldn't shoot, and he couldn't make free throws. In the playoffs, he would hit 3-pointers, and he would shoot over 80% from the line.
Yeah, he was
and his defense was stellar back then. So I'm just saying, I mean, for a guy in like I said, who do I want? If you're going to build a playoff team, who do I want? If I can't have the guys in the top 4, who do I want? I got to make a case for Rondo or maybe Clyde Frazier or the glove, Gary Payton. I got to make a case. Westbrook may shoot me out of a game, so I can't pick Westbrook on any circumstance.
Brother Benny, you old school all the way.
I can't do Westbrook not in the big spot anyway. That him and Paul, they might be on that level when it comes to who I'd want. But Rajon Rondo in a big spot, give me that dude. And you give me some talent around him. He just it was playoff Rondo is a Hall of Famer in my view. He'll never get there, but I'm just saying in my book, Rondo in that time was a bad boy. That's all. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But I see BMU. I see him in the back. I don't know because his boy played in New Orleans. I don't know if he had a comment on this or not. He's free to certainly chime in if he wants to. But I definitely wanted to, if you got something to say, you could certainly make that claim there. Again, my man Anton. I heard Gary Payton was a dog back in '96 finals against the Bulls. Yes, again, but it was tough. Me, Jordan, and those guys. I mean, they were bad. What can I tell you? Chris Paul over Kidd is crazy. I agree. And yes, again, playoff Rondo, no doubt was legendary back then. But again, a great career, a long career. He'll get all his accolades. He most likely will be a first ballot Hall of Famer 6 years from now. When we get a chance to talk, if this show is on in 6 years, we'll talk about it at that time, and we can bring up that debate again. But again, certainly a very good play, and certainly off the court. I think he was like, wasn't he player, president, rep, something like that?
Yeah,
for a number of years. Yeah. So again, classy guy on and off the court. You couldn't ask for a better.
He was a dude definitely trying to push the NBA in the right direction, but he was a pit bull on the court. And I remember, I forgot one player, they had an interview. He said some stuff on the court that they were like, I can't believe that Paul would say something like that. It kind of rubbed him the wrong way. But he was definitely a leader as far as on his team and the NBA. As you can see, he was the president of the NBA PA. But he had that old school mentality. You was on the court and you was not on his team. Like Chris Paul had no problem chewing out his teammates if they was not in the right spot. I've seen him do that plenty of times. But if you was an opposing player, he definitely came after your throat. And I'm talking about with his mouth.
Yeah. Well, I put Zeke above all these dudes. Zeke, Isaiah Thomas, even though he was the pretty boy on those Pistons teams, that dude was nasty. I wouldn't want to cross Zeke at any time, Isaiah Thomas, at any time. But last point, again, we're going to wrap up the show a little bit early. Obviously, it's Turkey Day tomorrow. I got some pies to make, right? So I got to get in the kitchen here and start prepping. We got a big gathering over here tomorrow. But certainly I didn't want to miss the show tonight. But we got to end the show, gentlemen, since tomorrow is Turkey Day. I gotta give you guys. We gotta debate this right here. All right. So again, you got to take one off the list here. All right. So Shawnee and anyone in the chat. Okay. So again, what are you taking off of the list here of Thanksgiving Day foods here? So what has to go?
Turkey. I'm not a turkey fan. and I see that stuffing right there in the middle. That stuffing, well, that's not dressing.
It ain't dressing.
I don't know. That's made in them other households.
That ain't even.
You know what? It's only stuffing. It's got to be in the bird because we do.
No, it's got to be dressing.
We do in the bird.
Got to be dressing. Dressing, no stuffing at all. Dressing. The dressing your aunties made, no stuffing.
Yeah, I'm looking because turkey, I understand. The turkey depends on how, because regular turkey, I'm not a fan of, but I understand people can make the turkey different. But I was started looking more at the list. I'm looking for dressing, and I'm like, I don't see no dressing. I see stuffing. I'm like, I don't know about that. All
right, so if I swapped out, swap out stuffing with dressing. Does that change the list then?
Yeah, that changed the
only
list.
If it has the canned version of cranberry sauce.
No.
Don't give me that cranberry with a little
Nah, we ain't doing that. So I got the more natural one this year, but I don't see how that canned cranberry sauce got into the mix of that. I don't.
You like the jailed kind? I see you, Sean.
I'll
say this: me and my wife, we made our own cranberry sauce the last 7 years or so. You know, it's a real cool process. We just boil it, then we put a little gelatin in it. She put a little vegan sugar in it just to sweeten it up for me. And I love it. I like it better than jelly. I'll make maybe a 16 ounces, and I may eat that with toast or breakfast or something until it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But on my list right here, I would take off the ham.
What's got to go?
The ham has to go. The ham.
Oh no, man!
Oh,
I haven't eaten the ham. I haven't eaten the ham, man, since my mom made it. That was 20 years ago.
I just picked up some ham today.
I haven't eaten ham.
That turkey.
Well, if it's me, the rolls is the easiest thing. That's got to go because
rolls.
I'm getting so many carbs from the mac and cheese, from the dressing or stuffing, whatever you call it, from the pies. I got enough carbs as it is. I don't need any rolls to mashed potatoes. Also, I don't need any additional carbs. So rolls, that's cheap. That's cheap. That's empty carbs right there. So the rolls can go. Everything else on this thing could still stay. Yes, I'll do the green bean casserole. Anton, I need my veggies in there, especially you get those fried onions in there. Yeah, that's some good stuff right there.
Man, Mr. Bennett, you don't gotta be like Richard Simmons every day, man. You gotta wild.
Nah. I'm baking pies tonight. All right, my famous my sweet potato cream cheesecake pie.
What?
If you guys are ever come up to New Jersey or whatever, you can get it. You can get one or you send me an address. I'll make a small little one for you, a little special one that you can have there. But sweet potato pie made with sweet potatoes.
Do you make your own crust?
No, I use the graham cracker crust. I like the graham. I don't do the. I mean, I've made pie crust. I've gone, roll it out, get the rolling pin, and whip up the dough and refrigerate it for 5 hours. And I've done all that before. It's just too much work. I just like the graham cracker crust. It's real easy to set up. But again, my cheesecake, sweet potato pie, that is a certainly a favorite around the house. So yeah. So I got my. In fact, I baked my sweet potatoes already. So all I got to do is just kind of whip up and make the puree and everything, and that's going to be easy to make. But yeah, I do pies. I do. Look, my thing is, especially around holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, or whatever. My wife, she just had a birthday last Friday, and my thing is, you know what? Eat what you want. Enjoy food. I think enjoy fellowship, and I'm down with all of that. I'm not so. I say eat well 80% of the year. The other 20%, eat anything you want. And so that's always just been a guiding philosophy of mine. But yes, definitely the mac and cheese. Absolutely. Remember that campaign a few years ago where all these guys started hating on mac and cheese? Remember that? It was like an internet social media thing where all these guys talking about mac and cheese was overrated. I don't know where that started.
I didn't see that video.
That was a big thing. Some NFL players were talking about how mac and cheese is overrated, but that's definitely
somebody scarred them. That's why they scarred them.
That's and I have my turkey brine. I'm doing a dry brine on my turkey. But my wife, she's also making. We got a small bird. We only got a 13-pound bird just to have it. I was trying to get her not to have it, but she didn't want to break the tradition because what we've been doing is smothered turkey wings, and she's got 2 types of smothered wings that she makes, and so that's also going to be part of the festivities also. So Shawnee, I know, why don't you like turkey?
Too dry. I mean, it's similar to like if chicken breast, just sometimes it's too dry. But I understand.
So grab that wing, pull that wing off then.
Well, yeah, because I understand some people know how to make the turkey. It's a little bit more, it tastes like dark meat. But if it's like the white meat, it's just too dry. It's just too dry for me. I've just never been a fan of it, but I have tasted some pretty decent turkees.
Smothered turkey wings. Oh man, that my wife makes that, man. That just messes me up, man. I'll do anything she wants. She's like, I'm making smothered turkey wings. Your wish is my command, dear. Whatever you want. So
I was about to quiz you about your pies, but you said the right answer. You said sweet potato. Cause I was about to say you sweet potato or pumpkin pie.
No. Well, pumpkin. That's like when you guys said dressing versus stuffing. That's in our household, we will never do pumpkin pie. In this household, never. Right?
I don't know nobody who know the recipe of pumpkin pie.
Well, like I said, I use sweet potatoes in my pie.
Mm-hmm.
See, most people use yams, but I use sweet potatoes.
The old
in my
school
pie.
sweet potato, right? Those,
What's that?
you peel your
Yams
sweet
and our sweet.
potatoes in the box.
No, they're biologically, botany wise, they're a totally different thing. Sweet potatoes are orange. I mean, yams are orange. Sweet potatoes, pure ones, are white. So again, I use those in my
You get it from like
recipe.
a farmer's market or something like that?
Asian stores usually have them. If you want the
Oh,
real
okay.
ones,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they got yams, the Korean yams. They got the real sweet potatoes. You got to go to those Asian markets. They have all those different types of potatoes there. You go to your local supermarket, they'll say sweet potato on the package, but it's really yams. You know,
You get the natural ones. Then you're not getting the
yeah.
Somebody told me
baking,
that international food is more pure than American.
Yeah, it's a
American, we
little
done
more
messed our
natural.
food up.
Less dyes in it. Less.
Yeah, for sure. So that's where I go when I get down. But this the only time of the year I get down. Here in Christmas is I bake. I've baked all my life, but the only times I bake is this time of year. So pies, cakes, or what have you. I do it at this time of year, and yeah, I mean, people enjoy it. I enjoy serving my family that way, and so if I have a little left over, like I said, I'll have some puree left over. Someone wants a pie, all I got to do is just pour that pie crust in there, bake it 45 minutes, and boom, here's a pie for you. So yeah, I certainly something I enjoy. But certainly looking forward to the games tomorrow. Again, huge game. Dallas, Kansas City, huge matchup. Lions, Packers, Ravens, Bengals. A lot of big games certainly coming up. So again, definitely looking forward to all the action. Had a big crowd tonight. I'm just watching the number of all watchers. I think we got up to like 17 watchers at one point. So really appreciate the love coming up tonight. We still got 11 guys with us now. So again, appreciate you guys. Again, spending your Thanksgiving Eve with us, however you want to describe it. Happy Turkey Day. Happy Native Americans got screwed by the Foreigners Day. Whatever you want to call it. It's the day off. So enjoy your day. Serve with your families and whatnot, and enjoy the games. And be safe. And hopefully this is the time. Also want to give a shout out to those because I know straight up because I know some people personally. Holidays, that's the best time for them. I know for guys who've lost loved ones in the holiday season, and certainly for the guys who be struggling like that. Again, prayers with you, and that so you can find peace in this time as well.
Hey, real quick before we go, man, I got an interesting day tomorrow. Right, I'm going out tomorrow morning. My alma mater, man, they going to the Final Four, the high school football state tournament. Yeah, so tomorrow they want all the alumni to go out and meet with them and talk to them. They having a morning practice, so about 10 o'clock, I'm gonna get out there and for about an hour. Yeah, man. I was one of the last 2 sport athletes to come out of that school, man.
Wow,
it's crazy.
Wow.
That was.
Do y'all go like? So you in Kentucky, right?
Yeah, I went to school in Kentucky, and I'm just like real close.
How is y'all high school like? Divisions like, cause we here in Texas, we got 6A, 5A. The size, depending on the size of the school.
I think with Texas, y'all have a larger number. Here, they only had like 28 high schools, so it was 4A. I think it may have gone to a few 5As, but I know 4A is the highest just based off the population number.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they from May to August to May. They go to school, mostly high school, get out at 2:20 every day.
Gotcha.
I got one thing.
Final thought?
I know we was talking about NFL, but I remember college football also this weekend is rivalry week. So if you look at the college football schedule, I see Prince been putting some in. He got the game with Ohio State, Michigan. I know here in Texas, we got Texas A&M and UT. That game would have been bigger if Texas would have been able to beat Georgia.
Yeah,
kind of lost some luster a little bit, but it would have been huge. The Egg Bowl with Ole Miss and Mississippi State. So I know we was talking about NFL this week, but it's also a big weekend for college football because a lot of big rivalry games are happening this weekend.
Awesome. All right, Coach, any final words in your end?
Man, good show, man. Listen, man, I got a game Monday, man. Hopefully they get it together by Monday, man. But it's been a real hell of an eye-awakening experience for me, man, these last couple of weeks. Like you said, my voice, it might not come back together to
10 times better, man. You had no voice last week.
I'm halfway through the season. Our season ends before the December 16th, 17th, man. But I'm excited, man. The end of the year is coming up, man. Me and my wife, she's excited that she get to cook for me this weekend. But yeah, man, just some good things ready to happen for us, man. I'm just excited overall, man. So good show, man. Salute to everybody in the audience, Auntie, everybody, man. Who else, man? I don't know who else is in here.
We have you. If you guys came through, like I said, again, Lexus from Texas, enjoy the game tomorrow. She's going to Cowboy Stadium tomorrow. Enjoy the game and the experience and whatnot. So yeah, again, appreciate you guys coming out. Momo VK in the building tonight as well. Certainly good to thanks for stopping by. And again, certainly make sure you guys, when you leave, make sure you hit the like button. Consider subscribing to the Black Man Unfiltered Network. Certainly really appreciate the support. But certainly for myself, Mr. Bennett, for the coach in the building, our guy Shawnee, our guy Dante in his absence. Again, always good. He was able to come in through the chat tonight. Again, enjoy your day with your family as well. Until we see you guys next week, take care. God bless. Enjoy your holiday. We'll see you next time. Good night.